Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. I'm my buddy Rhett. I've got a nut for her. Go, baby. Oh, there. So we are working on unit tests. It was weird because I felt like I remember yesterday I'd gotten it all working, right? Like the unit tests were 100% all from end to end, and that what was next was the um, Cypress, getting the Cypress working. But it looks like I actually did leave a to-do, what I am now calling an ephemeral to-do. So I'm not trying to use fancy words. It's just a word that really works for a lot of software situations. In my mind, ephemeral, the word ephemeral means like it's here and then there's no evidence of it once it's gone. So like if you do a search on something and then like maybe you get like a little pop-up ad. It probably is not recorded anywhere that that ad was ever put in front of you, so it was ephemeral. Well, this is a comment that I don't want to actually ever get. These little green check marks ones are ones that I don't ever want to get into um, the I don't want them to ever get into the source code. So they're just there to tell me what needs to be done. Now, what I'm looking for is 100% coverage, and this will tell me what my coverage is. I'm pretty sure we had that there. Oh, no, we do not have one. Wow. Could have sworn we did that. All right, let me do this. What would this be called? I guess either way, I want to do it. I thought I could have sworn we had 100% coverage yesterday. Um, Now I'm mad at myself for not. I should have opened the uh, the tests up and double checked. But I guess we need even now we still need them. But I'm I could have sworn that yesterday. Whoop, I keep doing that. All right. Who is not at 100%? Oh, no, it is. Okay. Wow. I guess I just saw uh the end of the road there. Yeah, so right here. Wow. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to take this. Basically, all this does is it populates this animations a- array, which we like on line 75 here. That's what we do. Um, we create the array. I'm gonna hit Control Plus to make my screen bigger, make my font bigger. What is it? July 25th, Saturday, my favorite day of the week. Um, every once in a while, Friday will be better, and every once in a while, Sunday will be better. But for the most part, Saturday is the best, the best, the best, the best. And there's absolutely nothing I'd rather be doing than coding. So, um, I mean, that's not always true. I mean, I have like other parts of my life, but I do enjoy coding a lot. All right, so see what happens on line 75 here. We created animations, and then we go check to see if we have a ST. We try to get our ST mesh, and then it is possible that it'd be undefined. This is more. Actually, it's not even possible to be undefined. This wouldn't build out if the ST mesh service didn't exist. But we have to do it this way because Angular has sort of a, I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know if it's a, I don't know what the deal is, but they made this decision to do something called eager dependency resolution, eager dependency resolution. And with eager dependency resolution, two things can't be dependent on each other directly because they will it's kind of like, oh, it's a chicken and egg thing. It's like, oh, you can't have any chickens because you don't have any eggs. Okay, well, let's get some eggs. Well, you need a chicken. Okay, well, let's get chicken. Well, you need an egg. It's like that. It's like both of them need each other, so you can't do it that way. So what I had to do is I had to create a class that knows how to get the service from the injector, and that's what ends up happening here. But on line 75, we created empty animations, and then here we check to see if the service exists, which it better. Like none of what's the point? None of this works at all without it. And if it does exist, then we say, hey, I'd like to have my mesh. I want this mesh, and here's its ID. And then it says, hey, if there was in fact a mesh, then does it have any animations? If it does, add them to the animations. So probably a better way to do this would be to just pull all of this out into its own function that returns animations, right? So, and then it might even make sense to just move the whole declaration down here. So basically what I'm saying is, okay, we'll just do that. I think it will make sense to do that. So we'll do something along these lines. Control V. And then I'm just going to comment this one out. And it's, I need to put like, now that I think about it, like one of the worst things is like, one of the really nasty things that is not a big deal, like when you're just like kind of coding your own stuff, but ends up being a big deal is like comments that are not useful. And so let's see, is there like a delete? Okay, so there's no delete. How about remove? Nope. Okay, how about um, explosion? Oh, what's that little, was that little bomb thing we used to have? Yeah, this thing. Okay, actually, I've used this for something else, but this would be, yeah, this would probably be good. So that means the little thumb down says, don't leave this in here. This is just temporary. So now, instead of here, what we want to do is we want to create a function that is called like get animations from service. All right, so we can do that. We can say get animations from mesh, not service. I knew something was off about that word. And this is going to return a list of animations. And it's going to accept two things. One thing it's going to accept is the service itself, because when it accepts the service in this first thing, or I guess the first thing it'll do is it'll accept an ST mesh. And then comma, and then we want to get a service, ST mesh service. And that is an ST mesh service. So this is the animation service, and it needs an ST mesh service. So we want something along the lines of what we just commented out over here. It really probably shouldn't be a let. It should. So the fact that that was a let is actually a pretty good hint that something is probably not ideal about this. I'm going to leave it a let for now. I'm hoping I can change it to a const. It's so nice when something is marked as const, because then you know, okay, this whole structure doesn't get destroyed from end to end. It is also nice that you're 100% chance, as long as you don't create another reference to it, some sort of external reference to it, that it gets deleted when it hits the end of the block. So, okay. So now we can say it's kind of interesting to, yeah. Yeah, I still think this is a good way to do it. So basically we want to, okay, so we actually don't have, we have the mesh ID. So that is a number, which is a number. We won't have the mesh yet. All right, so this is our TypeScript. We've created a new function. It returns an ST animation. It accepts an ID and the service itself. So all we need to, we know we have the ID at service. So now we can say this uh, get animations from mesh. And really, this probably doesn't have to, like, it probably could be get animations from object. Probably not, probably not. Like, this will work perfectly for like groups. It might work perfectly for lights, who knows? But it probably won't work great for cameras and stuff like that. So, um, maybe, actually, I guess we have full control on the ST side. And we're actually asking for the ST animations. So maybe we can, maybe they'll all be the same. If they are, then I guess it'll be easier to determine that when the time comes. But we do know we need to pass in this ST mesh service. So we'll probably have to mock the ST mesh service. We might be able to just create an ST mesh service and use it. Um, but from this ST mesh service, so we're going to do this. We're going to just copy all of this. Wait, what's the problem? It is an ST mesh. Oh, we need the number too. That's right. ST. No, it's the. I just call. I'm changing that to ST mesh. ST mesh ID. So we're passing in the ST mesh ID here. ST mesh ID. All right, so now we have our ST mesh ID and then ST mesh service. And I guess it can be undefined is the problem. All right. So now we can copy all of this. Actually, we can cut it all and move it down here. And then the good news is that we can test this like in real time. We don't have to, we're not like trying to connect like before. We are trying to build this whole system up and then we couldn't test it until everything was done. Um, so the main thing I want to see is that this still works. And the main thing I want to see is that the animation still happens. Oh, guess that was an old one. Guess I hadn't been done building yet. Okay, so the animation's still working, so I think that's fine. If we hit reload, we'll see that now it's still working on the unit tests. And we probably lost ground. All right, so we move this get animations from mesh. And now we're 7 lines behind. One branch, but we have all the functions tested. All right, so now we have this, and really all this is doing is checking to see that the mesh is defined. And so basically we want to say, and this is why it has to be a let. So basically we want to cut all of this stuff out into its own into its own thing. Let's change that to ST mesh ID. And I guess when it's it's going to be 4. And that ends up meaning that this is named wrong. So basically this reads pretty nice, right? It says like my ST animations are equal to the value that I get back from something called get animations for ST mesh ID. And I give it my mesh ID and the service. So it is a bit awkward, like it, because it's like all this does is kind of verify that the service isn't undefined. But and this isn't like I probably wouldn't do this if I wasn't doing unit tests. Um, but the thing is, it's going to be really nice to break this little chunk of code out because I think this has a strong possibility of getting very confusing. Um, and like all of our functions right now are just sort of like one-liners, but I don't think they'll stay one-liners. I think they're going to grow. It's just the animations system that we have built in place is one of the most primitive systems that we have. It was one of the very, very first systems ever created, and now like we've established a bunch of really great uh, patterns that we don't even do in here. Okay, so we do have an animation dictionary, and this is and it is a singleton because it's provided in root. So everybody's sharing this. Hmm. So looks like we're pretty close. Whatever is running all the time probably should just get stuff from that dictionary. Get its animations from that dictionary. But I don't know. Like we probably don't want to go into that hole, that rabbit hole yet. Um, all right, so now we're getting animations for ST mesh ID, and now it's like this knows how to get a mesh. And so I want to create another. Basically, I want to break this out so that it's like literally all I have to do is pass it a mesh, and it knows how to get what I want. So now this is get animations from ST mesh. And literally all it accepts is an ST mesh. ST mesh. And then we're going to take, it's going to be an ST mesh. And then we're going to return an array of ST animations. And I know I keep kind of belaboring this point, but like the whole reason for this is because um, like it's just like so much easier to unit test code, like pure functions. So both of these last two functions that we created are pure because they can run totally independently of anything else, right? Like they don't need any, they don't have any reference to like this. Um, so I guess this isn't, well, it is, yeah. So it isn't totally pure because it does have a this. So ideally, like life is a lot less complex if you don't ever try to get anything from this. But this function is on the state, so I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. All right, so now we have our ST mesh. And in here is going to be where I check to see if I have my ST mesh exists. So it's going to be like ST animations is equal to this dot get animations from ST mesh. And we're going to give it the ST mesh. And I know it's probably it's always very, very, very tempting for people to, um, man, my dog just saw something that distracted me. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, to like kind of get rid of this whole thing and just paste this into here and not even do this. But I just find the I don't know why people do that, honestly, because if to me it seems like it's so much easier to read. It's like I don't know, it's just so much easier to stay in context when you have these two things. When you have it separated out like that. But I do get like I get chastised by ChatGPT for that all the time. Um, it's always like um, don't you don't need to have an intermediary variable. You can just pass this straight into there, and I do not understand that. It's just kind of like one of those things where it's just like people will be like, um, "Oh, how do you pronounce this? Dog?" And it's like dog, and then it's like and then something else will be spelled very similar and have a different pronunciation. And it's like I watch a lot of videos like that. They really crack me up. And to me, this is like having the two steps to explain what we're getting here and how we're getting it, and then what we're giving it to. Just to me, is just so much easier cognitively, I guess. Okay, so now we don't need this ephemeral um, comment anymore. Right, so now this is so easy to unit test, right? Because all I have to do is pass this an ST mesh. This one's a little trickier to unit test because with this one I need to pass it in a mesh service. Um, and so we'll have to mock a mesh service in a number and likely, yeah, probably actually create the mesh service and add meshes to it and all that. But let's see what happens. See where we're at on unit tests. So it says it's rebuilding. And then it didn't like build. See, I don't think it actually built. Well, no, there we go. So that was good. Let's see where we're at on this one. This one's good. So now, that's fascinating. So this one ended up getting covered, and this was the one I was worried about. This was going to be the one I was hard. Well, see, that's the thing is I think when the unit test ran, this ST mesh service is undefined. So, but it's weird. Like, how did we? Oh, the mesh ST mesh service doesn't have a mesh when we run it. So we have a couple options. Like whatever is causing this to hit, then we probably if we could update the mesh service to give the mesh. Oh no. No, yeah, we get in here. We actually get here and we even call this, but then it doesn't have a mesh. So there's probably like a way that we could update the mesh service to have the ST mesh service to have the mesh IDs, get ST mesh by ID. Um, so, but it's so much easier just to create a new test for this and pass it in an ST mesh. I mean, this is just very, very not complex. It's definitely not a pure function though, because we do on line 99 we do have a this. But anyway, so now we are here. I find that the best way to kind of figure out exactly where you are on the left nav over there is just to close this and open it again. And then we're trying to get this guy tested. And it stinks because, like, I don't understand why my IDE isn't recognizing this language here. And I remember, I think we spent like 4 or 5 sessions getting it where it worked for Cypress, but it was broken on this. We could never get it working on both. But now that Cypress is gone out of this project, I would love for this to work over here. Gets animations from from and I guess it should be an ST mesh. And I definitely just want to reiterate that, and I know I say this all the time and all that, and I know that I tend to kind of drop into a sort of a preachy kind of rhythm of speaking and stuff, so I'm trying to not do that, but I'm working on that. But um, like uh, this is, I don't think that unit tests, this project I think is taking forever because of the unit tests, but the quality of the code in the project is definitely a lot better because of the unit tests. And I've learned some amazing patterns and stuff just having messed around with the unit tests. But um, I don't, this project's just not getting anywhere, and it's completely this thing's fault. All right, so we are missing our type of ST mesh. It's telling us the type. Let me use my other keyboard. And I think there's only one choice here. Yeah, ST mesh. And then I think ID is, we're just going to give it an ID of 1. It's probably an ST ID would be, I guess, ST ID, ST mesh ID. And then what else are we missing? What are we missing here? I know we're missing animations. ST position is equal to, and I think that this is like a, what is it like? I don't remember. Oh no, I think it's like this. Okay, it does not like the X. All right, I can't remember what. Let's go here. ST mesh, go to definition, ST triple, go to definition. Oh, okay, so it's STX, STY, STZ. And I bet you that will become important once we get the physics, because I think the X, Y, and Z are slightly different. Um, in so something at 0, 0, 0, like a cube at 0, 0, 0 in most of the physics engines is, I think, the very middle of the cube, whereas in this, it's the um, first, it's the lower left corner of the cube. I think that it's been a long time, but let's see, what are we missing now? Man, do I do this anywhere else? Like, I want to just, let's see. I'm guessing in ST mesh we probably mock a mesh. Oh, we could probably create a mesh. Service create base mesh, get mesh by ID. So we could do we have the mesh service by any means? This is the ST animation service. I wonder if we can pull in the mesh service. And then that would let us just create a base mesh, and that might be very easy. So let's just try it. ST mesh service is equal to ST mesh service. And I think this is super interesting, right? Like this is, in my opinion, like just crazy interesting. But the problem is that we're not. getting any like closer to having this thing being a useful product. Now, it would not surprise me if this breaks. So let's just make sure that we didn't just break it. Oh, I think we can just comment this out. Because I'd rather just create a base mesh. I think I always end up regretting what I'm doing. But like this is one of those things where it's just like when you regret it, but you don't really understand it. And like so I kind of I don't know, maybe I'm just making an excuse, but I don't think so. I kind of would want to see why I regret this. Um, but I know I've touched this stove here and got burned by creating like actually creating things. Um, and it's probably been more of a result of having worked with other people, like when you work with other people and then they're working independently and then you expect something and it doesn't work the way you wanted. So const st mesh is equal to mesh service. I think it was st mesh service. Yeah, st mesh dot create base mesh. And actually, I believe this returns an ID, not a. And see, I just literally just validated it at that point. And I believe when you create a base mesh right now, and this is probably where I get burned a lot. So right now, the way it works is it automatically creates an animation. It just automatically just lops, places an animation onto the meshes for you automatically, but that will not always be the case, and this will break when that isn't the case. Um, dot get mesh by ID. So now we have a mesh, and it does have a. Okay, let's put a little note for ourselves here. This is a something that I really need to make sure I keep in mind. Oh, that's funny. Okay, a banknote, Euro banknote, American banknote. This is a musical note. Oh, this is probably one. Yeah, note. Yeah. So if slash when auto animations are no longer added, this will need to be updated or it might actually break. So basically what I've done is I've sort of um, tied my tests here to functionality that is really, I guess, in a sense, deprecated. Like I built it out and I still need it, but like I don't intend for it to be around forever. So, all right, so now this is a service, right? Yeah, service dot get animations from for stmeshid. Oh no, you don't have to do it that way. Get animations from a mesh because we have the whole mesh. And that other thing is for some reason So we'll probably likely need, I'm guessing we'll need to add something in here to tell it to attach animations in the future. It probably won't be like a guarantee that it's going to happen. So it shouldn't be too hard to fix. It should be very, very easy to come up to. This will probably uh, get me up to speed really quick. I don't think it's. Oh, I guess it. I guess it didn't scroll. Okay, so that didn't work. Wrong one. Let's see. Okay, so get animations from STMesh. So I do not think it ran. Cancel. Okay, why is it doing that now? Some of your pages did a full reload. I don't know. I don't think that's accurate. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna reload this again. See, I've once that happens, things kind of can get weird, and I don't know exactly what it is. It makes it weird. It appears to be done. It appears that we have 100% top to bottom. So it did not rerun. It acted like it rerun. It really did. It acted 100 like it absolutely reran, and it did not. So let's see if we have 100% here. Okay, we are back up to perfect running. Okay, so I'm going to kill these unit tests, and I'm going to go over to my, let's go ahead and get rid of this coverage, get rid of this new tab, and let's go to Cypress. So CDS, CDS npm run test. And then I'm just going to go ahead. I know that ChatGPT is what I need. And it is because of, okay, that was wrong. npm run Cypress :open. And then basically, I think I need, the problem is, okay, let's go and let's close everything and we'll come in here and then we'll go to Cypress. We'll go to end to end. If I remember correctly, it's the keyboard one. The keyboard one is broken. And it'd be really nice to get that fixed right now. And then I don't think there's any actual new tests that need to be run. Maybe, well, I don't think so. I don't know. I guess it's easier, probably, maybe. I don't think I'm checking for all the individual things. Um, let's see. There is something about yeah, it requires, all right, so. All right, so, and I will tell you, I think that little comment there saved me a lot of time. Okay, so project that I just ported out of its original project, um, in the same folder, same directory as a Angular app. And one of the scripts is dying, is crashing breaking on this line of code. So I do not think I ever installed the Cypress plugin tab. I don't think I ever installed the Cypress plugin tab after I ported it. Several other scripts are running perfectly. So basically, I'm hoping that in my package, I actually, okay, so I didn't know you could do that. All right, so let's go over here. CD Cypress. I've never tried that. I have no idea. If I have tried it, I don't really remember. It is possible that I like don't remember it because npm list because it's not useful. Like if it's not useful, then I'll probably immediately forget this. If it is useful, I may very well remember it. Oh, list Cypress plugin. So, and it's working. Wow. So it's probably faster for me to look at, oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't see it. So now I'm going to go into my packages for this project. This is a very weird package. Okay, so I don't see it as a dev dependency or anything. Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know what this is. Description. How weird is that? Let's get rid of that. Um, okay, so yeah, yeah, it doesn't look like so this is my list of dependencies. Okay, so it looks like this is what I want to do, but I'll definitely want to do it in the context of that. Cypress tab. Okay, so we'll have to, I don't think we'll have to do anything. I think the code is already, it was already working. Okay, so these are my current dependencies from the package.json. Oh, okay, so we need this. npm install save dev. I'm going to add that as a script up here. Tab plugin. And this, I just do it this way. Well, the main reason I do it this way is because it always works out really well for me, and I like it when things work out well for me. But it's now a habit because it's just been such a useful thing over time. It definitely has. At most developers that I know that do like a lot of development actually do like it. It's not really scalable, right? Like you'd be amazed at how fast you end up with 500 items in here. So, it's not like a really enterprisey kind of thing, but it's pretty useful for your own personal work. npm run tab plugin, and probably should stop this thing. before we do that. Probably wouldn't be a big deal, but you just never can tell. And why take the chance? And honestly, if there's something wrong with that, if some weird thing goes wrong with that, you'd be amazed at how sideways things go. So there we go. There's our Cypress plugin tab. All right, so now let's relaunch this thing. This is it. This is the very, very last part of this refactor. Let's see, space and time. I believe there was 14 of these. 18 sessions for this refactor, which I think is going to, in the long run, if we ever get this actually to be some sort of product type thing, um, be very beneficial to have that group slid in there, and it was never going to get easier. Um, but I think there was like a message I skipped right through. Would never have gotten easier, right? Like the number of weird little, like how when we were doing animations, how the animation was looking directly on the scenes instead of looking through the groups and all that. Like all that stuff there's just more and more instances of those sorts of weird things that you end up coupling, but you're not, like when you do it, you don't realize you're coupling, you're creating a deep couple between like animation and the data structure, but there's just no avoiding it. Eventually you are going to get deep coupling. What is the, oh, okay. This is saying there weren't any. I probably should have started with the home. Sometimes this first one just takes forever. Okay, it's still failed. Let's see. Oh, that is so wild because this actual thing worked. Maybe it was something, I don't know. Let's try this again. All right. And this says get tab is not a function. Now there was some other, I remember it gave some other instructions. I like didn't think we were gonna have to do this import because um, import Cypress, then import it into your Cypress support file. So ETS. Okay, I do not have an. Oh, we do have a support function. What version of? Oh, okay, it knows what version we have. Okay. Oh yeah, support TS using JavaScript. That is so wild. Because I'm definitely using TypeScript. So let's come in here. Oh, I guess because this is named JS, so this is a JavaScript. Okay. So that might have been something that just didn't make the jump. And just do this. And we'll restart. Oh wait, did it actually? Wow, that is impressive. I think that may be the first product I've ever worked on where you can change one of the foundational configuration things and then it just live restarts itself. All right, so we're good here. I don't think we ever do like anything where we check the data structures. We can if we want, but I don't think we do any of that. I think we just check to see that they're all gone after a delete, or that when we create a new one, it starts at 1. Man, this one was that was a really good. Like that was to me as perfect of a refactor as I've ever seen. Um, and it was nice because we did it in slow motion. Like every individual decision, everything was analyzed and thought through. Honestly, I wish I had always coded this way. Well, I don't know. That's not true because there just was a time. There was a time when like your job, yeah, that's perfect. Deleted all three entities. Where your job, what is that? Deleted all three entities. It comes back here. Yeah. Um, where like basically like you would go in and you just start grinding out um work, right? Like there was a time when like a very common thing was like you'd go and then you'd get like a picture, like from and then like a picture and then you'd carve it up and make it into a web page. Um, it's kind of hard to define. We used Adobe. There was like I think Adobe Photoshop. You could kind of separate parts of the app of it up apart, cut it up into pieces, and then export it, and then start making some of it dynamic and some of it just like the picture and stuff like that. And that was like, and we were judged based on like how many of those you could grind out in like a day. So maybe the average person could grind one out for two a day, but like somebody who's really good at it with a lot of practice could grind out like 20 a day, and that's kind of how, so just knocking out work as fast as you can was the best way to do it. But now it's like better, these things are so complicated and they have so many intertwining communications that you can't really do it that way. Um, you kind of have to really understand every step away. You really are like walking on eggshells, I guess would be the best way to um, describe it. Okay, so we don't want that, and we want to keep that note. I think that's a super important note. That's gonna like that the comment in the uh, that said, "Hey, we need this tab." Man, that tab plugin, that was a game. Like that really helped a lot. Probably saved me a day. Okay, the thumbs down I think was like when I comment out code, and I'm just using it as a reference for now, but I plan to make sure I want to make sure it's deleted. I'm going to try to use the thumbs down. Looks like I added some extra unnecessary lines there. That's what get rid of that. It just causes a little bit of noise that we don't need. Oh, I barely remember this. Deferred dependency class. And then we just got rid of that function altogether. We'll probably need it at some point, but we don't need it now. Mesh, really, at the end of the day, that's literally all we did is get rid of the scene service. Oh, this is the deferred dependencies. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's like I thought we did a lot more to mesh. Has other scenes, and really all we ended up doing in STM. Oh no, this is for unit tests. This isn't all we did for this effort. That's right. And there's this, and we just got rid of a bunch of tests. Apparently, we did not need them, so I'm just gonna get rid of them. So my three animation class, yeah, I have no idea why we don't need these tests. Why we ever, well, I guess animation. Well, oh, I did go through a phase where not only did I want 100% coverage, but I also wanted each suite to 100% cover itself. Um, I've since backed away from that. I don't feel that that is a useful thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and kill this one. Now things are a little bit more complicated because, like, if I say git status, right, there's those. But if I say, because they're in two different repos, cd, um, and then git status. All right. So I've gone through all of these. So I'm just going to say stage. So those are all staged. So this is our other project. So I'm closing it up. Let me open it up again. As you see, we have package lock, package.json, E to E need to be changed. And I think the only changes are on that one are to include the plugin. All right, so now I'm going to say git status again. They should all be green because we hit the little button there. And then let's see, it wasn't that long ago that I actually did a okay, so this is video 557. And it is issue, I think it's still issue. Whoa, it's weird that I called it issue 34 when it is in fact issue 35. That is so strange. Refactor for code. And this is a code complete. So I'm gonna hit enter and then git push. And so this will push it out to GitHub. Now we also need to do a similar thing for our unit tests. What is this one? Okay, so that's for this one. So git status. Now I guess we should take at least put an eyeball. So I don't ever look in package lock. It's just pointless. Yeah, I renamed the title. I don't know what that was all about. But there we go. That looks good. And then this looks good. And so git status. And then git commit. I wonder if git is still as, to me, git is actually -m. Git is one of the most difficult, conceptually difficult things I've ever worked with, and I'm pretty sure it's a disconnect in language. I'm pretty sure the structure of I believe I may be misspeaking here, but I believe Git was created by Linus Torvalds. He's the person who invented the kernel, or who wrote the kernel for Linux and done a ton of other stuff. And one of the things he also did was he invented Git. It's my understanding. And I think his native language isn't English. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm way out on a limb here. Okay, so, but I believe his native language isn't English, and I believe the grammatical structure of the language he speaks is different than ours. So, like the Git commands feel very weird to me. The way, and then the way that we say, like, oh, I need to stage it by saying git add dot, and then we stage it. And it is possible that maybe this is like like a translation issue now that I think about it. Like maybe when they translate, like I think that they should have named it, instead of git add, it should have been git stage to stage things. Because then we commit and we use commit to commit. It's weird. Anyways, git commit, and this is also video 556. But I definitely would not call this a like anything to do with grouping. It's just like installs tab plugin for Cypress. And actually, this seems like a very useful commit, actually, because it has exactly what you need to get this plugin working. So git push. And so now I think we're all good now. Everybody is up to date. All right, so now we want to go to GitHub and merge it. So again, that was a 19 session effort. So almost 20 days, almost a whole month, or the better part of a month, I guess is a better way to put it. Okay, so that I suspect I just put it straight on the main branch. Yeah, I don't have any branches. That's so funny. Okay, so yeah, and I think that does make sense that this would be a much simpler thing. Like there's absolutely no reason to branch things and stuff like that, as far as I can tell. All right, space and time. All right, so let's go ahead and create a pull request and let's get this thing merged into the main. First thing, before we do that though, let's go ahead and look at all of the changes. That's so wild. It actually removed Cypress tab uninstall. That's wild. All right, so I think all this looks good. I think that all looks good. Rows, that's so funny. Raw data. See, I crack myself up. Yeah, I guess this is really small. Let me hit Control P. Control. So yeah. So these are, so I'm going over my pull request and I see that I've done some stuff in here. I'm not that worried about it, but it looks like, I don't know. It looks like I added this when I uninstalled everything. Um, probably, I don't know. Probably should go through and see if there's anything. Well, I guess it's supposed to be like a historical log. So not like that wasn't the intention of this, but for me, that's what it's turned into. All right, so all we did was import the new group. What we're doing is passing the group over. I'm not really looking to understand everything like I do when I do unit tests. I'm just kind of looking for anything that jumps out. It says this was a mistake. I think it's all looking good, 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 good. This is much bigger um, pull request than I like. You know, I really would prefer like a you know, 4 or 5 files or something. These are all new stuff that I added. It all looked good. I didn't see anything that like jumped out. Like really, like I'm just looking for like, I really love that every time I have a crate, I'm gonna put a little egg with the bird coming through. And honestly, just to make me happy. Like it just like every time I see it, it just makes me feel good and happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, that all looks good. What is this one? Scene service. I wonder why the scene service needs the mesh service. Don't know. It may not need it. Who knows? But I don't want to like stop progress for that because I think if we don't need it, it's fine. We can just get rid of it. It's going to be easy. Material, geometry, dispose. All right, that looks good to me. So I have one little like thing with the like in the scene service. Does it need the mesh? It probably doesn't, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, so we're going to create the pull request at this point. And so now our branch is diverged. It's probably like, yeah, so it's only it's two commits ahead, has 25 different files that are different in this one than in the main. This is not a big deal. This is going to be really straightforward. But the thing is it gets dramatic. Every time you add another developer that's working in context, it probably makes it like twice. It's geometrically more complicated. So if you have 20 developers, then it's 20 times. It's probably like 400 times more complex than if you have like just one developer. Okay, so I do like to delete these branches because they really do stack up. But I have them locally, so if I ever need to push it back out, it's pretty simple. Okay, is it done? It is merged. All right, we have 4 issues. What are our 4 issues? I'm assuming we have 3 issues now. Okay, faster hashing scheme. I know that's one that I'm putting off. And then add icons for zoom in and out on the update page. So I'm thinking this is probably what we want to do. I think zoom in. I think this one's a little bit more complicated. Zoom in and zoom out, I think is pretty easy. Although it does really bring up like a weird con contextual thing to understand is like I guess you're zooming the camera in and out, but the camera is in many ways part of the visualization, so it's weird. But so I think right now I'm just going to hard code it. I'm just going to set it up to where like the existing camera in a visualization gets zoomed in and out based on what we're seeing, which is a really weird. It's like almost. It's just a weird thing. All right, so I'm going to create a. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say assign it to myself, and I'm going to create a branch. And one of the things that's I'd like if I can give a bit of advice is that like a lot of times when you do like a big accomplishment like in code, it doesn't seem to get like you commit it and you feel great. You're like, I'm so happy I just did this. I got this thing done. And what happens, it's very odd, but what happens is that um you um like it has to go through like QA, and then QA does it, and then you're like, yay, I'm happy. And then so you and QA are happy. And then it gets to production to the product people, and then like the next big meeting they have, like let's say they have a big meeting every 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, the next big meeting, they present it, and then like leadership decides whether they like it, and then at that point, there's like a big celebration. And the problem is that they're celebrating something that you probably experienced like 4 weeks ago, and they are, and you're probably deep in some new problem that you're just completely just like focused on. Your whole brain is, and they're all happy and they're celebrating, and it's just like it's not that big of a celebration for you, because you've moved on, and it can make you seem so aloof to the um, to your coworkers. I don't, oh yeah, I'm in the wrong directory. CD. And so like yeah, you have to kind of like set aside a little bit of time to celebrate with everybody else when the accomplishment makes it to the world. Now I remember I worked on this one project for this enormous enterprise, and we ended up like I don't know. I think we saved something like it was funny because I was like, I don't know, does anybody even use this code? Because we'd been grinding away building this application for years, and I remember I was talking to my boss, and I was like, I don't even know, like, does anyone ever use this? And she's just like, oh my gosh, this project saved the organization something like $90 million last year. It's like we were like this superstar or group, and we had no idea that we were like we didn't have a Vegas idea. And so then we would be like, it's like someone on the team would just be like, yeah, I decided I just don't feel like doing this anymore. I'm gonna go work on something else. I'm just go find a new job on something else, and I've got money saved up or whatever, like that. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, this critical person of this massive, hugely profitable application is just quitting. And because they're probably making like 80K a year, and they're part of a team that is probably costs less than $1 million a year. That's bringing back 90 times that in returns, $90 million in returns. Like it was just like one of those things where like we as the developers had no idea how impactful our code was, and the organization, I guess they didn't want us to know we were really super impactful. Um, so they like kind of kept us from understanding that, I think, or maybe, yeah, just like no one ever bothered to tell us that we were bringing in like massive amounts, because we weren't even just like we weren't just like saving money they already had. We were actually part of them getting additional money. Um, yeah, that was crazy. All right, so basically what is next is, and it's something I keep coming into, and then like as we do it, it just gets weird. But basically in here, these controls, I want to add a new control, and that control will let you zoom in or out of the camera. So right now the camera is where it's at. But the thing is this is different because like eventually we'll have like the zoom level for the camera for the visualization. So this is the visualization. We'll have the zoom level for that. But the problem is that like if you wanted to zoom in to get a closer look at something, that that is only for editing purposes. And um, then over here there may be for the visualization purposes zooming. And those are the kinds of things that like are really easy to gloss over and just be like especially when you're working with like a lot of people, to be like, yeah, no, we're working on Zoom. Oh, you're working on Zoom? I thought we were working on Zoom. Oh, we're working on toolbar Zoom. Oh, okay. Well, we're working on visualization Zoom. Okay, well, why are you changing the visualization Zoom? Like we want like a kind of in this view, we want it to check to see if it has like an override basically for during editing. So anyway, so that's what we're going to work on next. We're all done with the group refactor. That was a heck of a journey right there, and I definitely learned a lot. So tomorrow is the new icons. We'll start working on that. Happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.